Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Claude and the Banstas early morning show. Well, it's not early morning; it's nearly lunchtime. But who's complaining about time anyway? Today, big game today: Arsenal versus Aston Villa. And first of all, let me introduce our guest on a Sunday morning. Hello, Kenny. How are you?
I'm very good. It's been a week, a very, very, very bizarre few days. We've had. Let's talk about the football. You know, Europe's been good for a lot of our clubs, except for the biggest club in the country. And then the biggest club in the country goes and splatters the team at the moment yesterday. So that Jekyll and Hyde there. We don't know which where they're Jekyll and Hyde. Spurs are about to play later, and after that, it's going to be Leicester versus Wolves in a very, very competitive game. But the talk you can't not talk about the election results in the United States.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that briefly.
We talk briefly, but you know the biggest turnout, which is, and both got record numbers of the popular vote.
You disputed that.
Yeah, but apparently the incumbent refuses to accept defeat, even though everyone, with the exception of his circle, had said he's lost. So much for democracy.
Yeah, well, this is it. We'll go over that briefly. Also, I've got to say, Ollie, you've become the Undertaker for me. You might as well call him the Undertaker. Just on the brink, always on the brink, and he pulls one out the bag. We'll talk about that as well today. Let's start with the game today. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. I'm going to get this up here in a moment. Let's get this thing up at the moment. 1 minute. Let me just share the screen with you, Kenny. 1 minute. Where is it? And it's there. And there's predicting that Eddie Nketiah is going to get the nod from Arteta. Saka starts according to the predicted lineup, which is normally quite close. They're going in goal, Leno, of course, with a back three of Gabriel, Luiz, and Tierney, Saka and Bellerin. I think that's right. That's going to keep it sort of the same as last week, and Partey and El Neni in the middle, aubameyang, Willian, and Nketiah instead of Lacazette. Would you say that could be the lineup?
Well, I think it wouldn't surprise. It wouldn't surprise me because Eddie's been sharpish, and he was very very sharp on Thursday. To the extent that his movement was very good. He gets into like nice little areas when the crosses goes in. You know, got a couple of goals disallowed. One shouldn't have been disallowed. So and he is working hard. His hold-up play is not the greatest because, you know, the goal on Thursday came from him. So but I wouldn't be surprised at that side. I wouldn't, you know, at the moment in terms of like giving us genuine width, you know, Bukayo Saka is giving us genuine width, and so is Bellerin. However, the problem I've got, not with the team but with them, is that they're not doing it. We're not, for me, getting them in areas where they're doing it consistently. Because even though we've got Partey in the team and he's new to the side, if we're going to be playing like Liverpool, and I'm assuming we are, if we're looking at that lineup and the way we're playing, then what we need to do is that we need to be able to do this on a regular basis where we're condensing the midfield, doing a low block, dominating it, and able to get our fullbacks to do this on a regular basis. But what we need more than anything, we need like genuine movement from our front three in order for it to work. For instance, Eddie has to. If Eddie could play like Firmino and aubameyang and Willian could play like Salah and Mane, we're laughing. But that hasn't materialised with that lineup. And obviously, there's the biggest question for a lot of fans is why Willian instead of Pepe. And obviously, we spoke this on Friday. It's 80%. It's 50 for me. It's the way we're playing. I don't think the way we're playing in terms of like making ourselves difficult to beat, playing on the counter attack, is probably suiting Pepe because we're not getting enough possession in order for him to do his work on a consistent basis. So when he eventually does get the ball, he has players around him. Yeah, and because he feels he has to do something in terms of like be creative or do a little dribble and blah blah, and he loses the ball, that's probably going to be a situation where he ain't going to get the ball back for a good maybe a good 15 minutes in an attacking area because the opposition's got the ball back, and I think that's why his selection is causing chagrin. But I think it's more a lot of it's to do with the manager's tactics. But the other percentage is him. He isn't consistent enough. It's his second season. We know what a fantastically skillful player he is, but his numbers have to be a lot better. I know what you said earlier that he's not getting enough chances, blah blah, and I do agree with that up to a point. But until we start playing on the front foot, attacking football, which I would like us to play, because we can play attacking football, still make ourselves difficult to beat if players have that sort of brain where they can be in the right places. You can do that. At the moment, their minds are towards pleasing their manager, staying in the right places, running, and then what's happening is that the attack gets forgotten a bit under this system and under this manager. Why I've genuine concerns of whether Pepe's going to be fitting into this guy's plans for time. Then you've got William Bush. The thing that's putting William Bush in the dock for a lot of fans. No goals, played 8 games, not many assists, working hard, but we're not seeing those glimpses of brilliance that we used to see at Chelsea. So he's in the dock as well, and so is the manager for the team that he's chosen. But Lacazette scored first 3 games, scored 3 goals. Since then, he's struggling in terms of like missing chances. I don't know if he's. I don't know whether it's him or he's carrying injury, but he doesn't look fit to me. You know what I mean? He doesn't look sharp.
Arteta has said that, pulling up on this one, Arteta has said that it's because he hasn't had that much pre-season. He's still getting used to the way we're playing. And
who's that, William Bush?
Yeah,
I know, but I do understand that. But the thing is that someone like William Bush, when you're a young manager like Arteta, and you at the time you want leaders, you want managers in the field, you want people you can trust, and because of William Bush's experience, the things he's won at Chelsea, that is getting him in the side ahead of Pepe. Remember, Arteta didn't buy Pepe. You know what I mean? And whether we like it or not, he's not going to wait for Mikel to get a bit of form. He's going to want him to make, maybe have a game or a couple of games where he's going to make it difficult for Mikel to drop him. And that's the way, that is the manager's attitude. The way he's talking about William Bush means to me, maybe you'll disagree, that William Bush is very much part of his plans. Not just squad plans, but actually first 11 plans.
Yeah. Well, I think that this could be the lineup actually, but I wouldn't be too. Me personally, we're at home, we're playing Villa. I'd rather see someone like Pepe, but I look. Anyway, that's not really much. There's not much in it. Hopefully he does keep Partey and then he doesn't bring Granit Xhaka back. But something tells me that his lieutenant might be back in the team. I wouldn't be surprised. It
depends on mobility. It depends what he wants for that team. Because what's happening is that one of the things that we did well at Old Trafford is we ran. We never stopped running. And in what I meant by running, what I call running football, is that when you don't have the ball, you put the team under physical pressure. And physical pressure means mental pressure. So when they're starting to pass, you get in their faces and you're forced to make mistakes. Because what's happened is you're blocking the pathways to a lot of their attacks, like we did last year. Fernandes, every time he got the ball, we were in his face. So what was happening is that a lot of these passes that worked yesterday weren't working last week. And I think that's where Mohamed El Neni came into it, and so did Thomas Partey as well. But there are other players who work their nuts off, and that includes Alexandre Lacazette as well. We forced Man United into doing that. All right, one thing is that we only had 2 shots at goal, but one of them was a penalty, and maybe we weren't brave enough to go and give them a proper hiding, because they were there for the hiding, because we worked so hard into blunting their attacks to the extent that we forced them to go long. And I think that's what we want to do today. But the thing with Villa is that, Paul, I think you've got a good friend of yours called Paul Bredel.
I was going to read it out, but I was waiting for you to finish, Kenny. Hi, he said, hi, Claude and Kenny, lightning in the morning show. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for the donation, by the way. Thank you very much. It's very nice of you, Paul.
But another thing as well is that it's Villa as well, because he should know now that Villa are going to do exactly what Leicester City did to us, in terms of low block. They've got a lot of pace. You have to look at what they did against Liverpool, where Liverpool got themselves into a 2-8 because they miss Mane, who, for a small lad, holds the ball up fantastically well. That's something that they weren't during that game, because he was weren't there to hold the ball up. The ball kept coming back, and that's what Villa thrive on, because every team now plays the high line, and that's one of the things where I do worry about Eddie playing, is his inability to hold the ball up, because what's happened with Villa doing their low block, trying to make sure that they press us from, like I said, from all parts of the pitch. When the ball breaks, they've got players like Grealish, who's fantastic on the ball. They've got runners like Watkins, and they also got, I think it's El Ghazi. And then also they've got Ross Barkley as well, where they can hurt us, and that's how they're going to look to win the game, through the low block, and that's why
it can work. They won't sit back for us. That could be working our favour a bit.
Well, it's not a case of them sitting back. What's happened is that you have to look how Leicester done us. Leicester and Man City and Liverpool did us the same way. Only Leicester did it a different way, in terms of, like, they did the low block, blah, blah, and then they brought on Vardy and said, right, they're playing a high line. Let's get Hennis Under to stretch them, and then that's how they won the game. Liverpool did this, and Man City did the same, from the extent that we got the goal at Anfield, but after that they did the low block, got an immediate equaliser, and got a second goal. But unlike Man City, Liverpool went on a hunt and said, "Look, let's just kill these guys," and they managed to push us back. Man City, and game managed the game, and I think that's what teams are going to be looking at, especially teams who've got the Arsenal. It's part of the pun, but maybe I say the weapons to hurt us, and Villa got weapons to hurt us, and plus they're going to be very smart as well, because you look at the 2 games they've had. Last 2 games lost at home, got beat by Southampton, got done on the counter-attack in both Southampton. Also, they got done on the counter-attack against Leeds as well. So for them, they're coming here thinking, you know what, we're smarting, but this Arsenal side is not the Arsenal side of previous years, under the top Wenger sides before 2006. This is an Arsenal side who's still in transition and still very beatable, and we've got nothing to fear. And I think that's what we've got to realise now. Teams don't scare us. They respect us because we look more organised and more difficult to beat defensively, but they still think that we're beatable.
Yeah. I was just thinking Villa might come out. If they do come out and play, that might work out into our favour, and because of the counter attack. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Villa approach this game. But what's your sort of prediction on this one?
It's going to be a difficult one. We're going to have to score. If we get the first goal, then we're going to win. Yeah. Then we're going to win about 2-0. But if it's going to get into a long time, I think this is going to be a draw. We struggle to score goals, Claude.
I think we need a start.
We need a very good start in the front.
Yeah, because we tend to tie a second half, don't we? A lot
Well,
of
we
these
will
games.
definitely take the time because of the fact that of the way we're playing. We're playing a very physical game. But my problem with the way we're playing is that we're not scoring enough goals. We've only scored 9. Was it 9?
Yeah, I think who's our top goal scorer? Lacazette with 3, isn't it? Kenny?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Is it Lacazette with 3 that's our top goal scorer?
Yeah, he's him our top goal scorer, but that's the thing. We're not hurting. All right, I know it's only about today's the 8th game, but we really need to get a move on because what's happening is that teams aren't defending properly, teams are making mistakes, and every club, with the exception of us and maybe a few others like Fulham and West Brom, aren't capitalising on that. Obviously, we're not as bad as Fulham and West Brom in terms of goals for column, but the importance is that we need to get in that top 4 because. And the only way we get in that top 4 is we're getting goals from all areas of the pitch. For instance, we need goals from, like Laka, Oba. Obviously, we assume we're going to get them from. We're guaranteed them with Oba, I think, and also we need goals from William Bosch, Pepe, all sorts of players. Because you look at Man United, how they got the top 4 last year. Everyone writ them off, but Greenwood scored, Fernandes scored. Martial scored, Rashford scored, in great numbers, and that got them over the line. And then they got 3rd place over Chelsea in goal difference. It's goals that's going to get you it. I know because that at the moment we're not going to win the league. So goals have to matter, and we're not scoring enough of them, and that's got to be a concern. Not so much a concern in the cups in Europe because of the teams we're playing. And because teams are tiring, but in Premiership football, teams have this second gear. Even the teams that not the big names, they're still capable of beating anyone.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on. So you're going. So what you're going? You're going to give us?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal, right? I've gone 2-0 early. I've gone 2-0 on my predictions this week. So I'll stick with that. I'll stick 2-0 to Arsenal. Let's go back at the weekend. Chelsea starting to really get into gear. A good win. Because I know they've lost at Sheffield United at bottom of the table, but they've not been beaten as comfortably as this season. And they were comfortably beaten for the first time. In a lot of games this year, they've been very unlucky and done really well. But Chelsea put them to the sword yesterday. And the player that stood out for me is the guy from Ajax, the summer buy from Ajax, Zilic. Absolutely tremendous performance from him. And also, I thought it was an outstanding performance at the back with from the 36-year-old central defender from Brazil, Thiago Silva. So, are Chelsea a genuine title contenders this season? From what you've seen so far, Kenny?
I think what's happened is that they got a chance because the thing is that there's no team. The only team that looks capable of probably running. I don't. Liverpool, for me, is still the best team in the country. But I don't think that. I think after that, every team is capable of challenging each other second place. But in terms of like Chelsea, the way they're playing, defensively, I still have massive concerns regarding them because you only have to look at the goal they conceded. It wasn't the best. But that Zizic, I must say that was the best performance I've seen individually from a footballer in a long time, and that includes Arsenal matches or any team in the league. That was the best. The way he controlled that game, that left foot was a wand. I've never seen someone play that well and be that dominant in a football match for years. I mean, this is Glenn Hoddle territory I've seen. You know, those long passes, getting involved, the assists. You know what I mean? And I'm a Gooner, but you know us being North Londoners, you couldn't. No.
I wanted us to buy him. I wanted us to buy him.
Yeah, definitely, and you can see why. He's a fantastic player. I mean, we saw him in Ajax when they got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, where they lost to Tottenham, which I still can't believe they did. They managed to do, but in terms of that, Chelsea have got a player in their hands, and just think they've got Havertz as well. You know, I think he's got coronavirus or something. So they've got him in the side. They've got Werner, plus, you know, Tammy Abraham and Giroud right in the wings. There's goals there. There's a possible challenge there. You know, and you can't write Chelsea off, because if Liverpool slip up, then I see them, not Tottenham, them being a team to challenge Liverpool.
Yeah. You look at the players that weren't there yesterday as well. Havertz, who else was there not playing? There was another one. There are players out that weren't playing yesterday. Havertz, and there was another one I can't remember. But if you look at that, the quality they've got now, they're going to be quite a force, I think. I can't. I mean, Tony Rolfe hasn't tweeted me, hasn't messaged me for weeks and weeks. But yesterday, I got an essay on it on their victory, mate. So it must have been that must have been that good, because with Tony Rolfe.
No, it was fantastic. I was watching it yesterday.
He was on to me, because I haven't heard from him lately. But yesterday, straight after that game, I got it. I got it from Tony Rolfe. What do you think, our boys challenging this year? Maybe winning the title next year. He's going. So he's very confident. You know, old Tony. He only pops up when things are going great.
Yeah, but
loving the funny.
Not too funny, right? He has every right to do that. That was that individual performance was absolutely fantastic.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I haven't seen anything like it. I was thinking, wow. I mean, you know, we knew he's a good player, but oh my days, you know. And that's the thing, you know. The player you're talking about is Pulisic.
Pulisic, that's it. That's the guy.
Yeah, Pulisic. He's another one. He's got he's got very quick feet as well. Pulisic.
You know, I mean, you look at that and you're thinking, oh God, well, they've got players like that still to come in. It's frightening. It is frightening, and the way. And I'll tell you what, Kenny. I tell you what, the way Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool now they're picking up a bit, but with their that injury to Van Dijk, Man City don't look as if they're full throttle of.
You expect Liverpool not to. You expect Liverpool to go to City with a lot of confidence, because City is still.
But with them two teams, where they are, I can see Chelsea really putting in a big challenge this year. I think
they've got the tools to do it. They've got the tools to do it, but it's over a long season. They got, you know, it's all about goals. Werner's scoring, and you know he's got a good little team there, and so you can never rule it out. But the way if they carry on playing like that, then they'll be there challenging Liverpool, not Man City.
Definitely, and then you got Spurs as well coming up. I don't know, but they're here and me. I mean, we'll see today when they play West Brom. I think they could go top of the league apparently if they win today, Spurs. So
well, I think with Spurs today, if Spurs is that, you know, if West Brom lose this, then I don't see Vidic being in a job. Not a chance.
No, he's gone. I think he's gone anyway. You mean not Vidic? Bilic, yeah.
Bilic, yeah. Sorry, not Vidic. Sorry, everyone. Bilic, not Vidic. Bilic, he's out of a job, because you know they can't score. You know, they're not making themselves difficult to beat. So you know, it's going to be one of those things where, you know, it's going to be a long hard road for them, and you know that. Who knows? They might realise they might even give Darren Moore a chance, who's doing okay at Doncaster.
Moving on to the Crystal Palace Leeds game, and this is where the controversy comes in. VAR, my lord, VAR, as people will be singing, the ones that get the decisions their way, and then when they don't go their way, they don't sing it anymore. You know, the one yesterday with Bamford. I mean, I've never known you can score with your arm, but anyway, given offside because his arm was in an offside position. These rules need to be clarified a bit better.
Well, the thing about it, right, is that obviously I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't buy the game, obviously, because I'm not a Palace or Leeds fan, and 15 quid for a Palace Leeds game is a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
But I remember I was watching Soccer Saturday, and Alistair McCoist was going ballistic. He was going ballistic, and we said, "What's wrong, Alistair? What's wrong, Ali?" And then when he described it, I thought, "No way! I've got to see it to believe it." Then you go on social media, where some fans are watch it on their streams, and they're actually showing it, and I went, "No, this can't be right." So you go into a bigger device, you buy one of your daughter's device, you go into the and you think, "No, how is that offside?" And then they say it's his arm, his left arm. I went, "Really? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I have to accept that's the rule, but I don't like it. I don't like it, Claude.
No.
I don't got no problem with the VAR, but it's that rule. Someone's in an onside position, and then he's offside because of the ball. I think it was actually worse than Jordan Henderson's goal that was disallowed at Goodison Park. I just can't believe it. I'm really flabbergasted by that. You know what I mean? I think that's more of a talking point than the fact that Leeds seem to have got into a bit of a slide where their penchant for attacking football is actually counted against them, because teams who, with a bit of savvy like Crystal Palace and a bit of pace, are thinking, you know what? I fancy this. If they attack, we're going to attack. We've got players like Zaha and Ayew and Townsend who can hurt you on a counter attack, and I think that should be more of a talking point than about that penalty. However, you've got to talk about that situation, that decision, because I can't understand what's going on with the offside law.
And it looks like Leeds' way of playing is going to cost them a few games this season, though.
Well, we got them after Christmas. We got them after the Christmas break at Ellen Road.
No, is that international break? I thought we were playing Wolves.
Not Christmas break. Sorry, international break.
Sorry, is it Wolves we got or Leeds?
No, our first game after the international break, league game, is going to be Leeds United on the 22nd of I think is it 22nd of November?
It's Ellen Road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because we'll see how
that'd be perfect for us if they play like that.
Perfect. They're perfect for us. But then again, having said all that, the way they're playing at the moment, they're going to either win 3-1, 3-2, or lose 4-2. So that's the sort of team they are at the moment. Going on to another controversial decision is what Scott Parker was going on about the West Ham goal. And that's caused a bit of a stir because when the ball's played in, the geezer's standing in an offside position. But because the geezer's headed it as it's come in, he's headed it because he couldn't get out of the way. Did you see that goal at the West Ham Fulham game?
Yeah, I was more worried about the penalty that Lookman missed.
Oh no, we'll go on to that in a minute. I agree.
Yeah, but in terms of the goal, again, it's one of those things where you just don't understand it. You know, it's about interfering. Like,
I can see why he's fuming. Scott Parker's fuming.
Well, definitely. Again, it's the rules. It's the rules. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's offside and what's not offside. Because normally in a situation like that, if it's come with a Fulham player, then you can understand that being a goal. But if it's come with a player who the West Ham player who can't get out of the way, but he's offside, but the goal's going up. I need help here. Don't you? We need help with this.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But that penalty, let's go on to the Panenka. The when it comes off, it's great. But fancy trying that. I'm not being funny. You're in the last minute of the game, mate. Don't try that. Just put it in the fucking corner.
I think what's happened, right, is that one of the positives about about Fulham is that since they've got him in the team, they've actually looked better, from an attacking sense, and look a better team. So we'll give him that. But for him to go and take the penalty and do that, no, your team's struggling for points. You're in the relegation zone. No, that's a no.
I can understand if you're 2-0 up, the game is over. I can understand you doing that.
I don't like Panenkas, full stop. I don't like him.
No,
I don't like Panenkas. I just like you to be positive and put in the corner of the net where the keeper's got no chance of getting it, or even put it high.
It's a bit of disrespect in it as well, if you think about it.
It's confidence, because the lad has been playing really well for Fulham since he's come to the team.
I'm talking about disrespect to the other team when you start doing things like that.
But the thing is that it's something that's going to keep him awake at night, and I'm sure his manager will be fuming with him. On the surface they'll protect him from outsiders, but he'll be fuming because it was a ridiculous thing to do.
Yeah. Dear, just had a message from Daniel. I'm going to be busy this afternoon.
Was you want you to do watch along?
No, Man City, the Liverpool. I forgot that's before our game, isn't it? That's before our game. I don't know if I can do that. Anyway, and then forget that for a minute. Yeah, so that's that game. What's the other game with?
Carol, the biggest, the game where everyone thought where the whole, where Solskjaer was angry.
Just when you think Ollie and everyone out, it's in out, shake it all about with Ollie, isn't it? In out.
I didn't think they'll lose. They're playing away from home. That's where the Man United playing the best football away from home.
Not only that,
if you take away what happened in the
performance in Turkey the other night was beyond the belief. But
overconfidence that was. But Everton were perfect for Man United.
Yeah, they were. I thought Everton. They look like when they get a couple of injuries, they're struggling. And there was a couple of key players out yesterday, wasn't there?
Richarlison got himself, he's serving a bag, so he's sending off.
But there was another one out, wasn't there?
I think that's where Everton struggled. So they weren't able to stretch Manchester United without Richarlison's runs. But saying that, I thought Bernard played well.
Yeah, played well. I thought the centre forward was isolated too much yesterday.
But that's because Man United did their jobs properly. What Man United did well is they stopped the supply and made sure that if Luca Dean wasn't able to get down the bylines, they made sure that he was.
With the players they've got, United, they should be doing better than they are.
Of course, they should.
Let's face it. If you look at their players that they got, they should be doing better. But I just get the feeling with Ollie, it's going to be like that. It's going to be up and down, and indecisive. And this, I still think, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be controversial. I still think if Man United want to be challenging in the next couple of seasons, or even this season or next seasons ahead, I think they need to change. I think.
I think everyone at Man United, even the Man United fans, know that Ole's not the man. I think the problem Ole's got is that he's got too many good players. He doesn't know. He hasn't got the balance in midfield. He doesn't know what to do with Pogba, and Pogba's not helping him there.
Yeah, exactly. Martial wasn't very good like yesterday either, was he?
Yeah, but the reason why Pogba's not helping him, he does a bloody run. It's like Man United. You know when you've got someone like Finage, right? Yeah. He wants the game to move in a quick fashion where he wants it moving at pace, because that's how Man United play. You got someone like Pogba, he holds on to the ball too long. He's trying to think what to do, blah blah. And what happens is teams take the ball off him, and the move breaks down. And that's what's happening in a lot of the games at Old Trafford. But because Pogba's they paid 80 million, 90 million for him as such. They have to see him so they can get the best out of him. And then he got Van der Beek. Where he's going to play, and that's what Ole's got to do. Man United have bought good players, but they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And especially at Old Trafford, where the only sort of Man United to actually be on the front foot of attack You can't get the balance right. Where away from home, when teams can't Man United, that's just perfect. You know what I mean? I think one problem Man United got as well, Martial would concern me if I was a Man United fan, because there's something about his work rate yesterday that I thought, you know what? You're not playing like a centre forward. Either you're knackered or blah, blah. But moves seem to be breaking down around you. You know what I mean? And sometimes Rashford as well, when he gets the ball, he's got all that pace, but in the last third, he makes the wrong decision sometimes. So that's something that they've got to look at. Because, you know, the Man United teams of old, with their centre forwards and blah, blah, they made right decisions. And they put teams to the sword. And I think that's another area where Solskjaer needs to look at. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when Man United weren't winning the league in the 80s and 70s, they were always buying the best players. And they changed managers, and they bought players who didn't have the personality or the aptitude to play for Man United. And it's the same thing now. They're buying these big names, but the playing for Man United, they seem to either be strangled by it, scared, or they're just blatantly there for the money. And they don't really care about the traditions of the football club. And it smells when you watch some of the players who play for Man United, the fear or the fact they're just there for the payday.
Yeah. Good points, Kenny. Where do you think they'll end up, Man United? Do you think they're a top 4 challenge this year? Do you think they can?
There's no reason why they can't get a top 4 challenge. There's loads of games. You know, Bruno Fernandes is on fire, and he's going to get goals. If they make the right decisions in midfield, there's no reason, because their away form itself, they will murder teams away from home. Murder teams.
If you had to put your mortgage on it, all right, Kenny, who's finishing higher, Man United or Arsenal?
You really can't put your mortgage on it because of the fact that over the last few seasons we finished a bit higher than them. But if you ask me today, with the players Man United have available, they have better players than us, and their away form is just frightening, because there's a lot of teams in the Premiership who they're going to murder away from home. They're going to murder them because of the way they play. If they can sort out their home form, I think they'll finish there higher than us. I do think they'll finish higher than us at the moment,
Kenny,
because
you're saying
they score goals.
You say wait. Does it make a difference when there's no crowds though?
Good question. Good question, because people say it makes a difference. Others people say it doesn't. I think with professional footballers, it wouldn't bother them either way. They're professional footballers. They're taught to block out crowds.
Why are Man United playing certain way?
I think in terms of what's happening in Man United, I suppose what you're saying is that when Man United go goal down, the 75,000 fans roar them on. Get the urgency up.
But there wasn't fans at Old Trafford or at Everton yesterday. What I'm trying to say is, why can't they play like that, like they did against Everton at Old Trafford, when there's no fans?
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is to do is that Man United have to be on the front foot against teams. And what's happening right now is that teams, not so much teams, and I say this with the greatest respect, and I'm not trying to pick on the lad. Paul Pogba's a massive problem when Man United play at Old Trafford at the moment, because of the fact that because they're on the front foot and because they want to move the ball quickly enough, he's getting caught in the possession a lot, because the things he was doing, they don't come off. You know what I mean? People are looking at him as a weakness because they know that Fernandes wants to move the ball quickly. They know that they want to move the ball quickly, and what's happening is that he's getting caught in possession. Not just him, but a problem they've got as well is that they're full. I remember watching BT Sports, and Paul Scholes and Rio Ferdinand were talking about their strikers and how their strikers aren't making a run to stretch teams. And when I was watching it, I understood it, because I looked at it yesterday. Their strikers were making a run and they stretched Everton. But Old Trafford against us, I remember watching it. Greenwood and Rashford were basically playing like midfielders against us. And I think that's another problem at Old Trafford. Why aren't Greenwood and Rashford making those runs to stretch teams and push defenders back? They weren't doing that. They didn't do it against Spurs. They didn't do it against Crystal Palace. And against Chelsea, the same sort of thing. They need to be doing that because that's what Man United at best were doing, was that you didn't have to tell York and Cole to go make those stretch teams. You didn't have to tell Rooney to do that, or Van Nistelrooy. But with these lads, it's like why they want it to come short. It's like they think do they want to turn and run at players? That plays in the hands, because when you lose the ball, especially at Old Trafford, teams on the counter-attack will murder you. Spurs gives goals. Most of Spurs' goals are counter-attack goals. Our goal wasn't exactly counter-attack. That's because we strangled them. But Crystal Palace's goals, counter-attack. You know what I mean, Claude? Yeah.
I get you. I mean, still 0-0 against Spurs. West Brom at the moment. Anyone want to know? It's still 0-0.
How many minutes gone?
20 minutes gone. 0-0.
How West Brom playing?
I haven't got it on at the moment. Just got it through on the bookmaker thing. I haven't got it on yet. I'm trying to get it on my screen. Let me see. Hold on. If it is still 0. Where is it? 11. Hold on. Yeah, it's still 0-0. 22 minutes gone. And 2-0 and 0-0. Yeah, still 0-0, mate. That's West Brom holding out against Spurs, eh? Oh, wonders will never cease. Strange game football, wasn't it? They were 3-0 up against Chelsea, weren't they? Remember?
yeah. See, that's the thing about it. Well, not really. I think teams are just. I don't know what it is. Teams are just getting done on the high because they're playing high lines, and the defense is because you're putting teams under pressure. The constant pressure, they're making mistakes. You know what I mean?
It's just. I'm just watching now. Yeah, still 0-0. Yeah, so let's see if there's any other comments coming through. Oh, someone was asking on here earlier about the election, and they're saying that there's something about if it was just because of the postal votes or something. If it was let on just people voting properly, Trump would have won easy. But
nonsense.
There's a bit of dispute about postal votes and things like that.
Nonsense. Trump benefited from postal votes 4 years ago. That's that. The fact matters is that we have a pandemic, because of coronavirus, and what's happening is that you are going to see more people take the option of postal votes. Another thing as well, there's a lot of Americans who are working overseas for the military or working on research projects who ain't able to vote at the same time. So they're still able to vote. So they're going to vote as well. He's just making excuses. He should take his defeat like a man. Stop encouraging anarchy in his country on his behalf, because he's saying it's all about
Midnight Rider reckons VAR should be introduced. He said it was a joke election. Trump robbed.
He wasn't robbed. He wasn't robbed. He had everything going in his favour. Before coronavirus, he was a shoo-in to get a second term. Everyone expected him to do that. The Democrats gave up, and then what's happened, right, is that they had Bernie Sanders, they had Joe Biden, two old men. Basically, it was about damage limitation. Then coronavirus came along, Black Lives Matter things came along, and then what's happening is that it was game on for the Democrats. All they had to do is be the nicer face of American politics against him. And that's what's happened. He lost that election, right? It was a mandate on him, and he's only got himself to blame. He thought that and the thing about it, right, he had a lot of things going in his favour, to be honest. The working class voted for him, Black Americans and Hispanic and Latinos voted for him. So all this myth about black people in America being outraged by Trump is a myth. Black people voted in their numbers for Trump, because the reason why they voted in their numbers for Trump, because he said, I am the president of jobs. I'm going to make America great again. And basically what's happened, the reason why people vote for Trump is because it's the reason why people voted differently here. Working class people, Claude, don't like to be talked at. They don't like to be told what to do or how to think. Like, for instance, if someone says, if I went up to you and said, I want to vote that way, I don't want you to ask me why. And that's why Trump knew this. And he was able to mobilise these votes. And he was able to go to these Latino communities and black communities and said, look, these lot have done nothing for you. Try me. And it worked. He got a lot of voters. But the problem was, because it was a big turnout, all those people who said they didn't like Trump and wanted him out actually got off their arse and voted. And that's what killed him, because people actually meant it when they said it. They didn't give up. They didn't sit in their hands. And that's the thing. And neither did his voters sit in their hands. Trump would have won if there wasn't a big turnout. He would have won quite comfortably, but he didn't. And that's the problem. When Trump talks about the establishment, you are the establishment. You've been in power for 4 years. You're just the Republicans controlled the Senate, and you're the president. You are the establishment, but you've lost now. Show some dignity. Show some class. I know it's going to be difficult for him because everything is win or lose with that man. What he's doing right now is that all these anarchy, everyone getting guns, threatening themselves, fighting police. He wants that to happen because it's happening on his behalf. It wasn't about the Republicans didn't lose the election. It was him in his mind that lost the election. That they're doing this to him. They stole the election not from us, from him.
Yeah. Okay, Kenny. I think we've done that subject a bit too much. I think because I think anyway, let's go on. Anthony Herbert says, "There's any news on Saliba? I did read he wants to leave. I heard that. I saw there was trade. Apparently, someone was telling me there was pictures in training where he looked really good in training and looked really comfortable, playing well." Playing really well in training, so who knows? He could be, but he's in the Premier League squad, isn't he? He might still get a chance.
Well, my feeling on Saliba is that I think the manager's comments about Saliba early in the week were out of order. I think they're out of order, and it shows a distinct lack of bad management.
Say that, Kenny. Sorry, mate. You can't say that, mate. You're not allowed.
No, I'm sorry. Damn it. They're out of order. They're out of order.
You can't say.
Let me finish, Claude. They're out of order. You can't. The fact of the matter is that if you don't want the player, because you didn't sign him, you don't rate him, then move him on. Move him on and let him go back to playing football.
Yeah.
Don't try and loan him out to a championship club and then a guy wants to go back on loan to France, and then you're saying, well, I want to see more of him, so he needs to go back on loan. He spent last season on loan, Mikel. He rather keep like Mustafi because he's his mate in there. Yeah, but Claude, it's not. Regardless of whether he likes Mustafi, that's up to Mikel. That's his prerogative. I've got no problem with Arteta preferring Mustafi and David Luiz. Not a problem. But be honest with the lads. Say you don't rate him, move him on, sell him, and then we can use the money elsewhere. Don't mess him around and say, he should have gone on loan because I want to see more of him. When the lad went on loan last season, you didn't even let him play in the cup final because you didn't want him to get injured because he's your player. And then he can't play in his cup final against Paris Saint-Germain, and then he comes to the club, he can't get games. Now, it's your prerogative to say, I don't rate the lad. Not a problem. You don't rate him, sell him. And be done with it. But don't come out with these comments that you're coming out of it. It's out of order. It's out of order, and it's disrespectful. And it's not good for the lad, especially a lad who's going through traumatic times because he's lost his mum. Let the guy go and play football, and stop wasting the lad's time. You don't rate him, Mikel.
You should have let him go in the summer. All this carry on.
If you don't rate him, Mikel, I respect that, Mikel. I really respect that because he's not the first manager to do that. Brian Clough bought Gary Megson from Sheffield Wednesday, didn't play many games because he realised he made a mistake. He wanted his player. He moved him on to Newcastle. John Sheridan was bought from Leeds by Brian Clough in '89. it said the guy can't run, wasn't sure about him, moved on to Sheffield Wednesday, game over, didn't play for Nottingham Forest. Managers do make mistakes in that respect. Arteta is in his rights to say, well, hang on here, Unai Emery was the one who wanted him, but he's not what I need. Say it. Move him on.
Yeah, I agree, Kenny. I agree.
Bad man management.
I know, I agree, and I couldn't agree more. But well, what can you say? If we say anything about
the truth, because all managers are there to be analysed by everyone.
You've got an agenda if you say anything. So
Claude, it's not an agenda. It's not. Yeah, I don't know Mikel. Claude, Claude, I don't know Mikel personally. I've got nothing against Mikel. I don't know him. It's just I just want the best for the football club, and I want. Exactly. And if he answers a question in a press conference, then I'm going to read it and I'm going to comment on what he said and what he's doing. I ain't got a problem with Mikel. I've only got a problem with what he's doing. That's the difference.
Okay. There you go. I agree. I agree with you. Where is anything else? By the way, I don't really want to go back into it, but he doesn't officially. He's not officially a president until December, is he?
No. What's happened is that what happens in the United States is that it has to go to the results have to be go to the electoral college, so it can be made official, and that has to be done by December, because they've got to wait for all the legal challenges, whether there's any recounts or not, and then what's happening is that from December up until January, that's when the transition starts for the new president before the inauguration on January the 20th. So what will happen is that there's a handover between Trump's administration and the incoming Biden administration, and then what will happen is that on the day before the inauguration, the president who's leaving will leave a note of wishing the guy good luck. That's the constitution and the procedures. And then what will happen is that at the inauguration they shake hands, and then what will happen is that the president will swear over the Bible that he's going to do his job in God's name, or blah blah, in front of the minister in Washington, and then he becomes officially president of the United States. So it's like a transition period. But again, Trump, wants his legal challenges. He's made all sorts of like I said, claims without evidence, but hopefully he'll produce the evidence and we'll be able to look at the evidence. I'm not holding out any hope that there'll be any evidence.
Okay, right. Let's run. So we'll wrap that up. I think
we've lost Claude, everyone, but hopefully Claude will come back.
On with my thing again. I'll have to get this sorted out, especially we've got a game on tonight. Right, Kenny, thank you so much for joining me today, mate.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's good to talk.
Always a pleasure, it's always a pleasure. How are you coping? Were you coping all right with this lockdown?
I think what's happened is that I've just got used to it, I haven't been near a barber's for about since March. So, I just think that when we're properly out of this, I'm probably going to get my hair cut. So that's why I'm wearing hoodies and everything. But I think the problem is that, how do I say it without trying to be cruel? We're encouraging the government to lock us down because the simple reason is that we're not Sweden. People in this country, our attitudes are we have to have it now. Even if we can't afford it, we've got to have it now, and we must. We know our rights. So, for instance, when we say there's a lockdown, blah blah, 90% of people in this country aren't following the lockdown, and all that's going to do is encourage people to lock us down more. But the problem is that the reason why they're doing it is because the infection rates are coming down. They're a lot lower than people predicted. The scientists, in my opinion, have got it wrong. But what they should be doing is all these areas they're worried about, get everyone tested. Get everyone tested, see where we are, and then try and get some vaccines out and there's medicine. And then once you get a vaccine and the deterrence of this, we can all go back to normal. And then, it's people's choice whether they want to take the vaccine or not, but at least it's there. You know what I mean? And then all we got to do is when we do get to normal, Claude, people, start taking notice of people's personal space. I hope.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
What's the score?
It's still 0-0. I'm trying to get another channel because it's gone off and this kid's buffering on this one. I'm trying to get on another channel, but...
See, that's the thing, Claude. That's why I do pay-per-view, mate, and pay for it, because I know I'm not going to get it live.
I'm not paying to watch Tottenham, man. I'll pay for the Arsenal game because I don't trust this shit.
Yeah,
I'll pay for the Arsenal game tonight. I'll pay for the Arsenal game. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but I think after the international break, I don't think we're going to be doing this anymore. But what were we going to do? You know what,
Kenny? I'm going to come on another angle from this, right? I don't mind paying for it. I tell you what, I don't mind paying for it, right? At the end of the day, right? If it's a choice of paying for it or not watching it at all, I'll pay for it. Because if you had what I don't understand with this lot, right? If they've got to go to the ground and watch the game, they're paying for the drinks, for the ticket, for the over 70 quid, yeah? Mm. You're getting it here for 40, 15 quid. I'm not going to moan. Why moan?
Neither am I.
You've got a choice. You either watch it or you don't watch it. If you want to see your team play, you pay for it. What's the point? And if they done that to if Sky went out and I couldn't go to a game anymore, right? And Sky what was it? And Sky, and then each individual club said, well, if you can't get to a game, you have to pay for it on the team. I'll pay for every game.
So would I.
Team. What's the moaning about?
But the reason why there's moaning about is because moaning about again is that they don't understand. They don't seem to understand that the extra games at 3 o'clock are games that they haven't paid for. We haven't paid for that. We've paid Sky in terms of the football for the games that they already agreed to show. The same with what we've paid BT and Amazon for. They have an agreement and they've paid the Premier League to show a number of games. Anything extra is up for grabs. Now, a lot of these fans mean well, and they really do mean well, blah, blah. And there's fans who, who in the other parts of the world who get it for free, and they're joining the bandwagon. And I respect that. And I've got a great respect for their intentions, because they're good intentions. But they seem to be having a lack of understanding. The fact of the matter is that a lot of people want to watch these games, and they're going to want it live. Are they, you should allow them to make their own decisions. You shouldn't be going on and going, oh, yeah, well done. We've raised £80,000 for charity and blah, blah, well done. All right, you've raised £81,000 for charity, but some fans who want to watch it have been bullied into not paying for it because of because you bullied them with niceness and good intentions. They want to watch their games. They should be allowed to say, I'm watching my match. It's up to them, really, at the end of the day.
I don't understand what all this... If at the end of the day you've got the choice, if you don't want to watch it, what about if they said Sky then, right? So decided, well, we're not showing it for you for free, which they are going to do it. Would they moan then? Would you rather pay then, or what?
I'll tell you one thing. You know what Sky and BT could do. Sky and BT are well within their rights to say, well, up yours, you lot. Then we're gonna show the 3 o'clocks as normal, and all those people from abroad who we've been pissing off and disrespecting by moving the times, we're going to give them the 3 o'clocks, and you'll just have to watch them as normal. How are you going to like that then? Because you can't have no complaints, because that's not the deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know it sounds awful, right? I know we're in tough times.
They could actually do that, Kenny.
Yeah, of course they are. They don't owe us anything. They don't actually owe it to us, because we wouldn't be saying anything if crowds were allowed at the games. It wouldn't bother us. You know what I mean? So I'm not criticising these people. What I'm trying to say is let people who want to watch it and want to pay for it make their own minds up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't. Anyway, Kenny, let's move on, and who knows? It's a big talking point. Let's have the final word from our lovely guy, lovely Mo.
Shig.
Yeah. If I was given all Arsenal matches for 50 quid, I'd pay it. There we go.
Well said, Shig. Because that's what a lot of people are doing. They don't understand the situation, right?
No, let's leave it at that, because I agree. It's just ridiculous. Why we're moaning about? We're moaning this. At the end of the day, you've got an option to buy it. I'd rather watch my team play for £15 rather than not watch it at all. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, but the thing gets it right.
Anyway. Yeah,
look,
at the end of the day, what you've got to look at, I'll end it like this: if it was normal, right, and you couldn't get to a game right now, and we're saying normal, and before the pandemic, if your team were on Sky Live or on Sky, and you couldn't get to the ground, you wouldn't be able to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
So I would have loved the option, even in the old days when the game went on Sky or that I had the option to watch. I'd have paid if Arsenal said, "Look, here, it's 15," because not everyone can get into the Arsenal. Yeah, not all seasons. Only 50,000, 60,000 can get in. Yeah, right, and they've got waiting list as well. So not everyone can get in. So that option, if you can't get in, to be able to watch it on TV, it would be great. I'd pay it, wouldn't you, Kenny?
Of course you pay it, because simple reasons that I'm not paying. The pandemic is preventing me from attending my football club and paying for my season ticket. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You know what I mean? I still want to watch these games live. You know what I mean? And because I want to watch these games live, I've paid £14.95 to watch us play Aston Villa.
Yeah,
I paid for it. I don't want to watch it on a laptop. I don't want to watch it on my phone. I don't want to watch it on an iPad. I want to watch it on the television, and I want to watch it live. Yeah. And I don't want no buffeting, and I don't want to be 30 seconds behind. What's wrong with that? My money. Exactly. I pay what I want. It's my money. I do what I like with my money.
And going into the last minute of the first half, it's still 0-0. West Brom.
Oh, brilliant!
Right, that's good. We drop points for them. That'd be good, and then we could be quite up high in the table, couldn't we? By the end of tonight, we win.
Just shows you what a great league this is, isn't it? The Premier League's the greatest league in the world. Where Southampton were top of the table on Friday, where they got 5-1 by Tottenham, and Man United lose 6-1 to Tottenham at home and still get in the top four. Brilliant league.
Anyway, Kenny, thanks for coming on again. Thanks for everyone in the chat. See you later on. Arsenal tonight in action. We'll be on at around 6:45, I think. Look on the notifications for that. For the Aston Villa game, I think Terry and Diesel will be back tonight. Me will be joining them, and we'll have our usual rows while the game is going on. But that's us, isn't it? We never agree. We can never agree on anything.
You can't have a debate if everyone agrees on something.
By the way, I just want to apologise for my behaviour the other night to both of them again, if they're here. I've spoken to Terry. I haven't spoken to Diesel yet since the other night. I want to apologise. I had a lot of things going on, and everything went into one. And in the end, I just cracked. And I want to apologise. That's not normally me, but with what's going on in my life at the moment, well, it's not acceptable. But anyway, I just want to apologise for everything the other night, and we have to move on. Ken, as I say, well, thanks a lot, then, Kenny, for joining us. Hopefully, I've not confirmed yet, but hopefully have Lee Gunner on tomorrow morning as well. So Lee Gunner possibly tomorrow morning, our usual Monday morning slot. Never controversial, old Lee Gunner, is he? So
not at all. He like I said, he's a Milky Bar kid. Lee Gunner is Milky Bar kid. He wouldn't have to fly. He's our very own Joe Root, blonde hair, blue eyes, and angelic looking.
As someone said, the Simon Cowell of Twitter. Anyway, take care, everyone. Bye for now.